More importantly, just 2 days away from the elections as to who will be the next Real Madrid president. Boy, what a soap opera this has been. Riquelme's been spouting a lot of nonsense. We've heard the same from Florentino Perez about this big, incredible player that he was going to sign. I'm going to make an offer of 150 million euros for a great player from a Champions League team on Tuesday. Is Olise great player, but it's not him? Well, apparently, according to all the rumours, it was Olise. So there we go. The Germans have spoken about the possibility of Olise moving over the last couple of months, given his talent and given, of course, that he's rumoured to be very much in the contention for the Ballon d'Or. For a player like Olise, there's no price tag. That would make us flinch. Meanwhile, Oli Hoeneß came out and said Mourinho can keep 5 eyes on Olise. He won't get him. He'll not be sold, not even for 200 million euros. We play this game for our fans. It does little good if we have 200 million more in the bank and play worse football every Saturday because of that. Right, we are. So that's the end of that. Oh, wait, no, we're going to talk about it. Here is Mark Ogden. Naina Manua is with us, as is Alex Kirkland. Hey, Alex, your bank manager's loving all this.
It's been good fun, these elections. We should do it more often, not just once every 20 years, I think.
Right, so this is... Why did he say it's not Olise when it is Olise?
It's very interesting, isn't it? And because, as you say, he was one of the specific players that Florentino Perez denied that this mystery 150 million euro man was. And then when you saw these credible reports from respectable journalists today saying it is Olise, I think actually it makes you think, OK, if they're going with this, despite that specific denial, there must be something in it. Now, we should say there are conflicting reports as well. There's some reports here in Spain that, you know, perhaps Perez was referring to 1 or 2 other high-profile targets at PSG, for example, João Neves, Vitinha. You know, he's been told that those are simply not options, and so he's sort of switching focus to Olise. Either way, I think it's a pretty smart move from Florentino, because what it sparked was a massive kind of nationwide guessing game, basically, with everyone saying, is it this player? Is it this player? The consensus seems to have settled on Olise. As you say, seems like a pretty much mission impossible from a Madrid point of view, because there's no reason to think that Bayern Munich could be willing to sell. But in a way, that doesn't matter to Florentino, because as you say, he said, I'll make this bid on Tuesday. And the elections are on Sunday. So by then, I've been elected president. I'm back in for another 4 years. And whether I actually follow through on it or not doesn't matter. And of course, he didn't promise to sign this player. He said, I will bid for this player on Tuesday. So he can bid for him. He just might not get him.
Ah, there you are.
Well, wonderful. Thank you for that, Alex.
If you're Olise, let's just play this game because there's nothing else to talk about. Where would you go at the moment if Real Madrid comes knocking, given the state of the club?
You go nowhere. You stay right there in Munich. You stay at Bayern Munich. You were a couple of missed chances and a couple of goals scored by PSG away from making it into a Champions League final, potentially winning Champions League. You were right there with PSG, who is, again, the best team in Europe. You don't in any way affect what this can be for Bayern Munich if you're Michael Olise. And mind you, he had a great season. He has taken his career from a good player to an elite level player, to be considered among the best players in the world. And that all happened under Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich. Why would you go elsewhere, especially when you don't know what exactly is happening at Real Madrid? Michael Olise is in a great place in Bayern Munich, and I don't know why you will go anywhere else, knowing full well what you have available playing next to you, what you have available on the bench, what you have available in terms of the structure of the club. You don't have this sort of drama at Bayern Munich that you're having right now at Real Madrid. You want consistency and continuity, which I think Michael Olise appreciates. I'm going to suggest that for Michael Olise, his best place is Bayern Munich.
Nadem, you're close to Vincent Kompany, of course, still after your playing days. You said he'd be happy to see him go.
What?
Yeah, I don't think I said that, to be honest. And I think I agree with Ali as well, that Olise's best part is going to be in Munich, isn't it? And I think as well, when you see the type of person that he is, not just a player, he's somebody who enjoys just the football side of things. And I think it's fair to say that if you go to Real Madrid, there's going to be a lot of other stuff going on a day-to-day basis, you know, from wearing that, you know, that white shirt, that iconic white shirt. So yeah, for him staying at Bayern, I think it's a great thing for him. He's just been voted Bundesliga Player of the Season. And I think what I like over these last 2 years, for as much as they've won those league titles, that Champions League goal is still there. And it seems like something which they're trying to achieve as the collective. So I think for Olise to fall in line with that, to have that belief, to know that the team could be getting better and better, I think at this moment in time, you know, we can't argue Real Madrid aren't necessarily the biggest club in the world, but Bayern Munich is the best place for him right now. He's playing the best football he's played in his career, and he's still only 24 years of age, so why would you leave now?
150. Oh, sorry, Alan.
Sorry, I'm just going to say that one more thing about Michael Olise, and it's alluding to something that Nathan was mentioning there. His personality is such that he doesn't like talking to the media. Who would like to talk to Archie Rintot? Well, nobody, but Michael Olise really doesn't. He won't. And he just doesn't want to be in the spotlight, even though his talent would suggest so. Well, he doesn't like it. Bayern Munich, they sort of embrace that and they kind of make fun of it or whatever, but they respect that. If you do that same thing at Real Madrid, now you get the sort of Gareth Bale treatment,
right,
in that, oh, well, this guy doesn't want to talk to the media. This guy is aloof. This guy is this, that, and the other. And players haven't been able to kind of fly under the radar at Real Madrid. And I know it sounds crazy, but Michael Olise flies under the radar at Bayern Munich, and I think he appreciates that. Again, Bayern Munich is his place right now.
So you think 150 million about right in the market, and then you think 80 million for Matheus Fernandes, who just got relegated with West Ham, Mark. What world are we living in?
Yeah, I just think that's West Ham's kind of opening gambit to say that, you know, this guy is not for sale for anything less than that. But let's be honest, West Ham are relegated. I don't think West Ham are in a position to set the terms of setting such a high fee for a player they only signed a year ago. So I don't think that Matheus Fernandes will go for anything like £80 million. I think you're probably looking at maybe £45–50 million, but you can't blame West Ham for trying. But like I say, they're going to find it very, very difficult to keep Matheus Fernandes or any of their players because they're in the Championship next season. Financially, they'll have to let people go. And also players are just not going to want to stick around. Players of quality like Jarrod Bowen, Fernandes, they are not going to play in the Championship. So West Ham, yes, I understand why they're doing it. It's the first week of June, but they won't get anything like £80 million for Matheus Fernandes.
You mentioned the fact, obviously, Alex, when Sunday happens, it doesn't really matter what you've promised when it comes to Monday. But surely it does a bit when you're linked to all these different players.
Well, if Florentino Perez wins, you know, the other promises he's made are extremely deliverable. They're already done in terms of Jose Mourinho, Konate, Denzel Dumfries. You know, they will arrive if Florentino wins. And like I say, the next promise from him was, I will go and bid for this 150 million euro player. So he can say that he's fulfilled all of those promises. And then let's see after that. I'm not sure, to be honest, that Florentino really wants to be spending 150 million euros because Real Madrid, we think that they've got endless resources. They haven't really. And in recent years, they haven't tended, apart from some big exceptions, they haven't spent, you know, huge transfer fees on players. They preferred to wait for players to arrive on free transfers, like Mbappe, for example. So I don't think he'd be too disappointed to end up not spending that sort of money.
Enrique is obviously the challenger, who's just come out with some marvellous quotes, obviously. Erling Haaland will go to Real Madrid if he's elected. And who will be in charge? Not Jose Mourinho,